will always be a part of my life because we have a son together, and I hope you have a great, great birthday. Even though we're not together or married anymore, I do not wish any harm on anybody, especially the mother of my child. So, Tabitha, happy birthday, and hope you have a great day. To the phone lines we go. Winner of the Northeast Mini Stock Tour at the Big Short Track Showdown at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I'm thinking about Lobster and all the cool things that go up in Loudon, and now they're doing big short track events, and this man races not only mini stocks but modifieds, is Matthew Kimball. Matthew, welcome to Finish Line, my friend. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So, man, talk about what it's like being a competitor of a modified car, and then you're running a mini stock car. That's got to be a totally different torque speed world. How do you handle it?
Really, it's just time. Both the cars are totally different. One's front wheel drive, one's rear wheel drive. One has 200 horsepower, one has 400. Really, it's just practice. I mean, I've been racing mini stocks about 6 years, and I've been racing mods for about 3 years. So when I jump in a mod, I already know. And then the time I get back in the mini stock, it's nice because, last year I raced both of them in one day, but this year I'm kind of taking my time, and I'll just have one day focus on one car, so I'm not getting over my head. Just easier for the team to only have one car to work on a day, and easier for the driver and the crew.
Got you. Completely understand about that. Again, Matthew Kimball joins us on the line. What is it like racing a mini stock car around the Magic Mile? Can you tell us that?
It's pretty loud. I mean, the car's singing pretty good with high RPMs. It's I wouldn't say it's scary. When I raced up at Richmond, Virginia in late March, I would say that was more sketchy than Loudon. Loudon's so wide, so open, and it's a mile track, so you got plenty of time. There's a lot of space, a lot of competitors. When we were up at Richmond, the racing was a little bit tighter. The speeds were actually higher. It's really, it feels the same. I mean, the modified honestly feels faster going around a quarter mile than a mini stock does going around the mile, just because of how the momentum works, how much space there is on the tracks.
Gotcha. So, Ryan, Matthew Kimball joining us on the program. Talk about what it's like racing up in the Northeast. I got a text from Ryan Montgomery. That's what I was confirming here a moment ago. And Ryan Montgomery will be joining us on the program, as well as Corey Almond coming up next. Kelley, Carlton. You've got a big show at Lakeview Motor Speedway in South Carolina. We will talk about that here with Kelley Carlton at the almost the top of the hour, 11:45. But we are right now with Matthew Kimball. Matthew, what's it like racing? Now, did you run the modified car as well as running the mini stock car at New Hampshire this past weekend?
Yeah, competition's great. Me and Emerson, mini stock, we raced 3 times this year. I mean, he's been doing part-time. I've been running full-time. We just ended up actually taking the points lead in the mini stock for the mini stock tour. We've won 3 in a row at Oxford and White Mountains, and now Loudon. But all the 3 races I've done with Emerson, it's been nose to tail every one. We've always put on a good show, whether it's at Richmond or White Mountains or at Loudon. At Loudon, we had a bunch of lead changes. I was always trying to pass them every lap, but I couldn't do it until about 5 laps to go. But the modified, there's so much competition. I'm going against 2-time track champions, 2 state champions, and my dad just taught me pretty good. He's won 5 track championships, and he's won 3 states. So, I mean, we have about there's only been 1 consecutive winner this year for the modified. We've gotten third twice, but usually there'll probably be like 7 or 8 winners at the end of like the 20 race schedule. Just so much competition. You can start on the outside and you can go from 2nd to 7th. You never know.
We are still talking with Matthew Kimball, driver, of course, the Northeast Mini Stock Tour and the Modifieds. And, real quickly, Matthew, what's your thoughts of mini stock or modified racing up in the Northeast this year? I know a lot of tracks have struggled. Tracks are on the verge of closing or have closed on not just the realm of dirt and asphalt. What's going on in the world in the Northeast for mini stocks and modifieds, too?
Well, there's about 5 main tracks that I race at in New Hampshire. It's Lee, Hudson, Claremont, Monadnock, and Star. but they just started a thing called New Hampshire Short Track Racing Association. All the 5 tracks are working together. 4 out of the 5 tracks have new owners from last year, so all the tracks are working together. They're all trying to merge the rules, so a car can race on Friday and then go to another track on Saturday. All they got to do is adjust the setup. They don't got to change weight or change the rules or anything. They just go have fun. So they've been doing a pretty good job this year. They've got some pretty big money races coming up for the street stocks. I think this year is going to be the slow year to the next 2. I think next year it'll pick up a little bit more as people will come to the track. But this year is definitely going to be a good year. It's brand new for everybody, and we'll just see where the time goes. So far, it's been pretty good.
Few more minutes with the driver that is Mr. Matthew Kimball. Matthew, talk about your racing career, buddy. How'd you get started?
I raced my uncle and aunt's go-kart back in 2009 at Sugar Hill, and I just always started my way up. And in 2013, I started racing young guns at Monadnock Speedway. It's just a division between 12 and 15-year-olds, and then once I turned 13, I started racing mini stocks. Did a couple years of that. Ended up getting second in points my second year. And then after I got second in points, we started racing the mod. Ended up winning our first race. And then that year we actually finished second in points to Todd Patnode, who actually won the state championship that year. And then the year after, we kind of had a rough modified year, but we still ended up finishing in the top 5. And we did end up winning the mini stock championship at Monadnock Speedway that year. And we were actually leading the youth national points for NASCAR for a little bit, but we got rained out for all of August, so we went from first to out of the top 20, so it kind of hurt us. But as the long one went on, we still ended up getting top 10 for the youth, and we even got top 10 for Division III national points. Got top 5 for the Division I state points, and then now on this year, we've already have 5 wins in the mini stock, 3 at 3 different tracks, and 1 at Hudson, so 4 different tracks. And in the mod, we already have 2 top 3s, and two top 3s at Monadnock and a top 3 at Claremont, and we've only done 5 or 6 starts, so. So far this year it's been a pretty good ride, but we still got a lot of work to get done and hopefully a championship at the end of the year.
So, Matthew, would it be safe to say that you race the mini stock or the modified more in racing competition, throughout the year?
Yeah, I race probably mostly mini stocks. I mean, I do about 35 to 40 starts a year, whether it's with the mini stock at Monadnock or the tour or anything. In the mod, I probably do about 15 starts a year. So, really, we race every weekend, whether it's one race a week or sometimes we even did 3. It just really depends what the weather's like and where the track's are racing.
And Matthew, that's what a lot of people don't realize is up in the Northeast, you only have like about a 4 or 5 month stretch, if that, to knock out as many races as you possibly can. So that was the next question I was going to ask you was, are you going like the Energizer Bunny Thursday through Sunday or Friday to Sunday? And I mean, that's a pretty impressive number of races to try to knock out within the 3 or 4 month time span.
Yeah, we start pretty much late April and end in early October, late October. Pretty much we start at a home track and then we end at the World Series at Thompson. So usually we do about 20 races at a home track and then about 20 races elsewhere, whether it's with the mini stock tour or the other tracks in New Hampshire. And sometimes we travel to Connecticut. We traveled way up north to Maine. We'll pretty much travel anywhere if we have the time and the money to.
Would you ever travel down south? I mean, have you ever went down like to, let's say down to, I don't know if Five Flags does things with mini stocks, but if they had something at the Snowball Derby, would you go to Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, or would you go down to Hickory or Southern National, or if there was any other big, more mini stock events in the fall, would you come down south instead of staying up in the north?
There's a big mini stock national race. I forgot what track it is, but it is in November and it's in North Carolina. We won't be down there for that.
Is it the one in Hickory?
No, it's not Hickory. I got to look it up.
Okay.
Some of my buddies did it last year.
Now,
they both had pretty good cars.
Now, I know there was a big race. They always run a big Southeast Mini Stock Tour event at Hickory. Normally, they with the Pass Series. But also, something that's been growing has been an event at Carteret County Speedway in November, right near the coast. So I was about to ask that. Is that where you plan on going to?
Yeah, that's the one we plan on going to for the national race down there later in the year.
Awesome.
Got to make sure that with work and everything and time that we have enough time to get down there. We should be there. Last year we probably would have been there, but we ended up wrecking at Oktoberfest in Lee, so we didn't have no time to fix the car. We kind of destroyed it. So
gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what, Matthew, I know that props to Bob Lowry. They just announced yesterday that Mark Watson, who's a very good friend of mine in the racing industry from Southern National to Dillon and now at Carteret County, has been moved as the general manager of the racetrack, and Bob Lowry still is owner-operator after the passing of Bobby Watson. And that is a marquee, beautiful facility on the Crystal Emerald coast of North Carolina. It's a drive to get there. Hell, it's a drive for me to get there, but it's definitely worth going to that racetrack. If you've never been to Carteret County Speedway at least one time in your life, you need to go and visit that racetrack, and hopefully you have fun there in November.
All right, thank you. We'll try.
Well, Matthew, thank you so much, buddy, for joining us on Finish Line. Before we let you go, thank your sponsors and congratulations. And by the way, are you a fan of that Maine lobster that they have up at New England, at New Hampshire?
Me, I really never had lobster, but we did get a pretty big trophy, and we did get this little granite New Hampshire plaque that said Northeast Mini Stock Tour winner. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Gotcha.
But of course, I got to thank all my sponsors this year: KRJ Jewelry, Chucky's Fight, American Legion, Jim Craig Electric, T&J Waste Management, Bean Group, Edmunds Ace Hardware, Personalize It, Tyler Small Engine, Peterbilt Tool, Trends of Fashion, Design Sons Trucking, 360 Designs, Kimball Trucking. That's pretty much it.
Well, Matthew, thank you so much, my friend, for joining me on the program. Continue success throughout the rest of the year, and there's nothing like winning at the Magic Mile at New Hampshire. You conquer that on Sunday in the mini stocks, and just like Eddie McDonald did in the Super Late Models, we thank you for joining us on Finish Line this morning.
Thank you. You have a good one.
All right, that's the thoughts again of the driver of Matthew Kimball. Big winner, the Northeast Mini Stock Tour at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Grassroots racing, something similar like at the Short Track U.S. Nationals that I got to a broadcast at Bristol. And, of course, you see things like this going on at Charlotte for the World Short Track Championship at the dirt track. Well, they do the same thing at New Hampshire. I got to give props in this final closing statement to Bruton Smith, Marcus Smith, everybody involved with the SMI brand of Speedway Motorsports Incorporated for keeping grassroots racing somehow involved with the NASCAR tracks. I think it's big. I think it's great. I think it's something that we need positive for our sport. And what you race fans need to do is make your plans to join them for events. Announcements were made about Martinsville, $32,000 to win for the Valley Star Credit Union 300 NASCAR late model event. The NASCAR Modifieds are coming back, and so much more. That's just tracks in the area. Richmond, the Commonwealth Classic with the Pass Series, bringing back Lanier. So many great things happening in the world of dirt and asphalt racing, and you have to go out and be a race fan and support it. So again, a great interview with Matthew Kimball here to kick things off.
This is Finish Line.
We're just getting started. We'll take a quick radio timeout and thank sponsors, and the prankster Corey Almond joins me next. If you have not ordered at DirtCarLift.com in the motorsports racing world, you are absolutely way behind. But if you are an existing customer of the Dirt Car Lift product, you already know about why they use the concept of stop jacking and start lifting. DirtCarLift.com helps make things very easier in the pit area. Whether you need to change a flat tire, make a shock or spring adjustment, DirtCarLift.com can get all four sides up immediately, then have it go around from side to side to car. By the way, they have a special package and price for existing customers that already have units. $950, and you can have the newest designed 2019 X Series lift with a few changes to make your life a little easier.